Hello, it's Ian Cunningham, one of the motorcycle specialists at H&H Classic Auctions. We're here again at the National Motorcycle Museum in Solihull near the NEC for the last auction of the year. Over 270 lots ranging from scooters to every shape and size of motorbike going. We've even got three-wheeler scooters and a four-wheeler Vespa car in amongst all that. Tomorrow's auction starts at 11 o'clock for the scooters and 1 o'clock for the motorcycle section. All the details of the bikes and lots of pictures are online at our website at www.H&HClassicAuctions. So in the meantime, it's well worthwhile having a look around, and if you can come tomorrow, obviously come and see the bikes in person. So we're here in the foyer. This has become the Ducati showroom. All really 90s onwards Ducati sports bikes. First one you'll see is this one here, lot 253. That's a Carl Fogarty replica. Homologation special, so whenever they did that, they would do special editions. Homologated to be used in superbike racing, World Superbike racing. Obviously, Carl won many races and 4 World Championships on that bike, or a bike like that. So very collectible, very rare. As you go around the room then, this is just the plain version of that bike, you could say. So this is the original 916 Ducati, still considered probably the most beautiful bike ever made. Obviously, Ducati red again. Didn't perform any better than the bike it replaced, but it certainly looked a good deal better and really moved bike design on many, many years. Go down the line, variations of that theme really. This one here looks to be another, that's actually a 996, so the same bike with a bigger engine. These here, if we come over here, these are a bit older. These were the predecessors to the 916. You've got an 888 and an 851. So again, homologation bikes to be used in World Superbike racing and tended to win the World Championships for riders like Raymond Roche. Doug Poland would have won World Championships on bikes like that. So this one here is one of the most iconic Ducati replicas. 1978, Mike Harewood made a comeback to the T after 10 years away from bike sports. Incredibly won the race. Everybody thought he were coming back just for a bit of a ride around and actually beat the works Hondas. So became one of the best races at the TT. The year after, Ducati then made a replica of the bike that he raced. The first 200 of them were the ones that are really sought after. The giveaways, they have a fiberglass cover on the petrol tank. The later ones had a steel tank. This is actually number 78. They started at 90,000. This is 90,078. So it's one of the original batch of Mike Harewood replicas, and certainly that's what everybody wants to buy and keep. So as you walk into the main room, everything opens out in front of you. Heading to the left, you'll see a lineup of essentially off-road competition bikes. Enduro bikes, WR 400 Yamaha, and an XR 400 Honda. So quite collectible now, these, because most of them have got destroyed in enduro use. So finding some still usable is quite rare. Mako 490. This is early 80s, but in the early 80s, this would have been the best motocross bike you could buy. Ridiculously powerful. You'd have to be a really good rider to get the best out of something like that. Unusual in this country, a Montesa 250 enduro bike. Very few of these would have made it to this country. It's actually restored in Spain, was that one, and has been restored back to as new condition. Another very rare bike in this country, one I'd barely heard of, was an Untitled Jet 350. Untitled Jet famous for small bikes, kids bikes, and eventually scooters, but came up with this, which is, again, early 80s, but a very, very rare bike in the UK. Just looking down the line here, mainly trials, again, off-road bikes. The one here, the grey one at the end, is actually a new bike, but it's a replica of a Rickman Matisse. Triumph engined, lightweight frame, nickel-plated frame, so a very distinctive looking bike. So to the right of the door when you come in, this is mainly a European section, Italian. I think essentially they are all Italian apart from a couple of BMWs. If you look at the lineup down there, adventure bikes, touring bikes, really nice Motor Guzzi V85 there, absolutely fully equipped with everything. Next to it, BMW GS, again, fully equipped. After that, around the back row, V-twin Ducatis, a couple of V-twin Motor Guzzis, Laverda RGS, the orange one at the back there, Laverda RGS, quite again a rare bike in this country. A few smaller ones here. This particular bike has aroused a lot of attention prior to the auction, mainly because it just looks so nice. This is a late 50s 175 Ducati. and it's one of those bikes you could have it in your house. In fact, the vendor had that in his house for a number of years, mainly as a display piece because it's so pretty to look at. So this is in effect a race bike selection. There's 6 proper all-out race bikes, some old 1960s, actually early 60s Manx Norton D classic race bike, AJS 7R behind it there. Blue and white, sorry, that's a Rob North replica of an early 70s race bike that we actually have another one we'll show you later. Norton Rotary again, another very rare bike actually, because that's almost like a pre-production version of a bike that became a standard road bike afterwards. So this section here, all V-twins across the ages, something very unusual and will mix people up to some extent. It's actually an Harley Davidson V-twin, of course, done in the style of a Vincent, Norvin, Egley Vincent, right down to actually having an HD badge in the style of the old HID badge that Vincent would have used. So a real talking point if you arrive somewhere with that bike. So down the right hand side of the room, opposite the stage where the auctioneer will be, is all the British bikes. Probably something from every single British manufacturer, certainly Norton, Triumph, BSA, but some more unusual ones as well. People always said at auction, what would you take home yourself? And it will probably be this one. This is an absolutely mint Triumph T595. Triumph's first attempt at a sports bike. And it's still a good looking bike, still performs very well, and certainly will become a future classic. So the far end of the room is the Japanese selection. Again, for Japanese manufacturers, obviously Yamaha, Suzuki, Honda, Kawasaki, representatives of all of those brands. Some unusual stuff, Suzuki RE5 Rotary down there, more CBRs and bikes like that. This particular one, it's one of the classic Japanese bikes from the late 70s, early 80s. 6 cylinders, very few 6-cylinder bikes ever made. This is one in beautiful condition, the early version that people want. Chrome exhaust system on it, 6-inch exhaust, the correct rear dampers, so a really good looking bike and still very collectible. So this room joins on to the main room. Now this is the room where you would actually come to register to bid and pay for a lot after you've bought it. The documents office is in here as well, so if you do want to look at one of the lots, it's well worthwhile looking at the documents that are with it. Very often the bikes have very extensive document files and it's well worth a read through to look at the history of the bike. The theme in here is pre-war, girder forks. Really we're looking at 1911 up to sometime in the 30s. Lots of unusual names in here that never really made it through not through the First World War, let alone the Second World War. So it's well worthwhile looking here, and you'll be surprised at some of the names you may recognise but may not recognise them in connection with motorbikes. Just along this wall then, after that, there is a lineup of what we'd call projects. These are bikes that probably need some attention, but at this time of the year it's a good time to buy a bike like that. So this is a great example of what we'd call a winter project. Triton, Triumph engine, featherbed frame, it's got all the right bits on it. Been stood for a while, so it doesn't look particularly pleasing, but it's all there. That would be a great thing to have in your garage or shed over the winter. And with a bit of imagination and not a great deal of spending, you could certainly melt that into a very nice bike for riding next year. And obviously priced accordingly, as the projects tend to be. So up on the stage here, this is where obviously the auctioneer will be standing tomorrow leading the auction. Got four really nice, some of the headline bikes in the auction actually. First one you'll see, very distinctive colours. It's actually a 2005, I think it is, GSX-R Suzuki. Painted up in Barry Sheen's colours from 1976, 1977 when he won the World Championship. It's a really distinctive colour scheme, is that. A very good bike underneath it all and in absolutely perfect condition. So again, very much a future collector's piece, that one. Next to it, another, again, very rare bike. This is a genuine X-Works Triumph Trident, built in 1972 for one of the team riders to ride, Tony Jeffries. Ridden by him 72, 73, finished second in the TT a couple of times. There's a board in front showing its list of results, which is very good. Sold by the factory in 1974 as they essentially ran out of money. Raced briefly after that, but then stored away. We've had a lot of people looking at that bike, and even people like Norman Hyde, who was the development engineer for Triumph, saw the bike this weekend and said, yeah, it looks to be fantastic, it looks to be the real thing. That's 302, so that's nicely in the middle of the auction. So obviously tomorrow, if you come into the auction, you'll be sitting in all the chairs here. As I said before, the scooter section starts at 11 o'clock. That'll take us through to well after 12. There may be a brief break, and then the motorcycles will start at 1 o'clock. All the information is on our website at www.h&h.co.uk. So have a good look at that. Lots of pictures, lots of information. Tomorrow we open the doors at 9. If you arrive, there's people selling catalogues on the door, so you can get a catalogue when you come in. You can arrive at 9 and spend plenty of time looking around. Obviously we're right next door to the Bike Museum, so you can kill a bit of time in there as well. Obviously tomorrow we hope we see as many people as possible live at the auction. That's still the best way of coming and buying and viewing the bikes. If you can't manage to do that, register to bid online. Open an account with us, you can bid over the phone, you can bid online, or you can put a commission bid in beforehand. So yeah, open doors at 9 o'clock tomorrow, scooters at 11, bikes at 1. We hope to see everybody and come and have a look at what we've got.